thought they just didn't want to make a hard decision. Right? The figuring out who's going to be number 2 is going to be a difficult decision. It would have been a much harder decision to figure out which one of those young men would start. And when you look at what the Cleveland Browns are doing, this is why people spin the block in relationships, right? You remember, hey, man, I had a great relationship with this person. Then I moved to this person and it wasn't so good.
We have a standard for that position, regardless of who's in there. Practice, games, how we operate, what we believe in. We have a very, very high standard.
The Cleveland Browns are one play away from talking about one of these 2 kids starting. And the scary thing is, instead of preparing them and getting them ready to play and getting them ready to be a guy that's going to back up a 41-year-old quarterback, you play games and have them thrown on the side feet.
The Cleveland Browns just lit a firestorm. At 40 years old, veteran Joe Flacco has been officially announced as the Week 1 starting quarterback. Sure, his resume speaks for itself. But what's fueling the outrage isn't the pick. It's the blatant snub of 23-year-old rookie Shedeur Sanders. Sanders, coming off a thrilling preseason debut where he went 14 of 23 for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, was held back by an oblique injury. And just like that, instead of being given snaps, his shot to prove himself was ripped away. Now the big question is this really about winning right now or just blind loyalty to an aging name? Is Kevin Stefanski simply playing it safe, or is he flat out showing he has zero vision for the future? Critics like Garrett Bush aren't sugarcoating it, they're calling it exactly what it is, playing games with a young star. And it's not only the fans raising hell. Journalists and analysts are openly blasting what they see as a wasted chance to develop a future franchise quarterback. So is the Browns' quarterback plan a short bridge to next season, or a brick wall that completely kills their future?
Is what I feel about.
But that's the thing. If they don't play, Swag, how do you know? Like even if they're at practice and like Jason said, we're seeing them do well against the ones playing well in 7-on-7. It's still practice.
We're talking about practice, but RC,
not the game.
That's the question that I'm asking.
Ryan Clark didn't bite his tongue. He flat out said Shedeur Sanders hasn't been given the playing time he rightfully deserves to prove himself. And let's be real, he's right. How can the Browns possibly claim they're serious about finding a future quarterback after Joe Flacco if they won't even give Sanders a real shot in actual games? Clark hammered home a brutal truth. Every single time Shedeur has been tested in training camp, he's delivered. Calm under pressure, deadly accurate, and already showing the leadership you want in a franchise QB. But without live game reps, it's almost impossible to see just how high his ceiling really is. And that's when Garrett Bush went all in. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He flat out declared that Kevin Stefanski doesn't care about doing what's right. Instead of grooming his young quarterback, Stefanski has shoved Shedeur Sanders to the sidelines with trainers while handing crucial reps to a 41-year-old Joe Flacco, one hit away from throwing the entire season into chaos. Garrett Bush said this isn't just some random call. It's a pattern. It happens over and over again. And according to him, this is exactly the point where the Browns' season starts its downward spiral. The ball is literally slipping out of their hands all over again, and fans are asking the brutal question, have they learned absolutely nothing from the past?
You play games and have them thrown on the side field with support staff. This is the stuff that the Cleveland Browns drop the ball on every single time. They worry about the wrong stuff.
And Garrett is dead right. This is a clear pattern, because if you watched Coach Kevin Stefanski in his latest press conference, it was impossible to ignore. The man looked flat out uncomfortable, even saying Shedeur Sanders' name. His hesitation was plastered all over his face. Reporters grilled him about why he suddenly decided to start his main quarterback in the third preseason game, a move he completely avoided last year. And his answer? Weak, vague, and dodging at best. We do what the players need. That's not the kind of confidence anyone expects from a head coach talking about the future of his football team. That's not leadership. That's pure deflection. And it only pours gasoline on the fire. Maybe, just maybe, the Cleveland Browns have no clue what to do with Shedeur Sanders. And if that's true, then this isn't just a quarterback controversy. This is a flat-out leadership crisis sitting right at the very top.
This year would be that joint practice in week 1. And then this year, just feel like that's what this team needs to get ready. Try to every single year make decisions based on what the guys need. So that's what.
And here's the real problem. Shedeur Sanders hasn't been given a single real chance. No game snaps, no time with the first-team offense. So how does that match up with Kevin Stefanski's claim of doing what the players need? If the Browns were truly serious about developing talent, then leaving Sanders rotting on the sidelines makes absolutely zero sense. Fans are furious, and they should be. The one quarterback they're most excited about, the one who actually represents the future, hasn't even been allowed to step on the field and prove himself. Instead of building confidence, Stefanski's words now sound like weak excuses. And instead of bringing clarity, his answers are only sparking more anger, more doubt, and more questions about what the Browns' quarterback future is really supposed to be.
So your quarterback didn't play?
Last year?
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah.
The uncertainty around Kevin Stefanski's decisions just keeps getting worse. When reporters pressed him again about the quarterback situation, his answer was short, vague, and hollow. "We'll make that call in a couple of days." But let's be honest, deciding your starter on such a tight clock isn't a strategy, it's stalling, and fans see right through it. This doesn't feel like a real quarterback competition. It feels like yet another excuse to shove Shedeur Sanders into the shadows. Stefanski's unclear answers don't inspire confidence. They sound like nothing more than delay tactics, buying time instead of showing actual leadership. And in the NFL, indecision can wreck a season just as fast as a bad decision. Then, when the conversation shifted to Shedeur Sanders, Stefanski didn't hold back his dismissive tone. He said point blank that he doesn't expect Shedeur Sanders to return this week. But it wasn't just the words, it was the tone. Instead of showing any concern for his young quarterback's recovery, his delivery almost sounded like a sigh of relief. And fans caught it instantly. To them, it feels like Kevin Stefanski isn't in any rush to get Sanders back on the field. Why? Because the moment Shedeur is cleared to play, the coach won't be able to dodge the inevitable quarterback controversy any longer. Right now, it looks like Stefanski is stalling for time, doing everything he can to delay the showdown between Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur, do you expect them to increase their level of participation in practice this week?
I hope so. We really have to take those day by day, so I don't know where that ends up towards the end of the week, but I'm hopeful.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about Shedeur Sanders, it's about the Browns risking their future. Fans see the talent, but Kevin Stefanski keeps burying him on the sidelines. Is this protecting the old guard or sabotaging tomorrow's franchise QB? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more hard-hitting updates.